Ethan, pass me the wine, will you? Sophie's voice rang smooth, polite, but I noticed the curl of amusement at the corner of her lips. I handed her the bottle, careful not to spill a drop. Here, I said, my hands slightly trembling. Thanks, don't spill it, Mr. Perfect, she teased, her eyes flicking to the others. The table chuckled. I forced a tight smile, my stomach twisting. Don't let him burn the place down. One of my co-workers, Brian, laughed. I laughed along, though the sound felt hollow. Very funny, I muttered. You know, Ethan, Sophie leaned closer, whispering loud enough for the table to hear. Sometimes I wonder how you manage to survive without someone holding your hand all the time. A ripple of laughter ran around the room. I felt my face heat, but I stayed frozen, gripping my glass tighter than necessary. I manage, I said. Voice tight. Oh, I know you do, just barely, she added, mock sympathy dripping from her words. I looked down at my plate, cheeks burning. How had I not noticed this before? The glances, the whispers, the subtle digs. I thought she cared. I thought she respected me. Ethan, tell us again about the Thompson project. Another colleague chimed in, smirking. We all love hearing about your careful little strategies. Swallowed. It's just, I started, but Sophie interrupted. Let him finish. He's careful, isn't he? So careful he almost becomes invisible, she said, and the table laughed harder. I felt my chest tighten. I wanted to shout, to defend myself. But the words stuck somewhere between my throat and my teeth. Stop it, Sophie, I finally managed, voice trembling. It's not funny, Ethan. Don't be so sensitive, she cooed, tilting her head. We're just having fun. You're so earnest. I forced a laugh, nodding. My hands shook as I picked at my food, trying to disappear in plain sight. After a long, awkward pause, Mr. Harris spoke from across the table. His voice was calm but carried weight. Ethan, sometimes the world doesn't respect effort the way it should. Remember, strength often grows in silence. I looked at him, grateful for the acknowledgement, but still burning with humiliation. Thanks, I guess, I muttered. You're too soft sometimes, he added quietly, almost to himself. But that can change if you want it to. His words hit me harder than Sophie's laughter ever could. Change? I could change. I didn't have to stay this spineless, invisible version of myself. Ethan, you okay? Rachel, one of my few supportive colleagues, asked quietly. I nodded, though the sting in my chest refused to fade. Sophie leaned back, sipping her wine, a smirk playing on her lips. Well, I hope you're taking notes, dear. Life is all about playing your part and knowing your limits. Limits. That word reverberated in my mind as I excused myself. The air outside was cold, but it felt good against my burning face. I drew in a deep breath, gripping the railing by the entrance. Shame, anger, determination, it all collided inside me. I would no longer live for their approval. Not Sophie. Not my coworkers. Not anyone, Mr. Harris's words echoed in my mind. Strength grows in silence, and sometimes silence precedes a storm. Tonight I swore to myself. The storm would come. I opened my laptop, expecting the usual project update from James Cole, my colleague, and instead froze. An email chain caught my Sophie's name on every forwarded message. My heart thudded. I clicked the first one. You can't let Ethan handle the Thompson pitch. He'll blow it, Sophie wrote. My hand shook. What the hell? I whispered aloud, staring at the screen. James Cole's response popped up almost immediately. Got it. I'll make sure his numbers look off in the report. Don't worry. No, I muttered. My stomach lurched. Sophie had sabotaged me. Every late night, every calculation, every presentation had been undermined from the inside. I slammed the laptop shut and ran a hand through my hair. I can't believe this, I muttered to myself, pacing. Ethan, are you okay? My sister Lily peeked into my study. Her brow was furrowed. I'm fine, I said, forcing a smile that felt more like a mask. You don't look fine. You've been snapping at Mom and Dad all evening. I gritted my teeth. have a lot on my mind. Mom called from the kitchen. Dinner's getting cold, Ethan. Come eat. I'm not hungry. I snapped more harshly than intended. Silence fell for a moment. Their worried faces haunted me. Later, I couldn't focus on anything. Every time I thought of Sophie, a knot of rage formed in my chest. I remembered her smile at last night's dinner party, the smirk as I stumbled through a joke. She had never cared. She had only ever cared about showing me for what I really was. Weak, pathetic. I called her Ethan. Is everything okay? Sophie's voice was honeyed, deceptively calm. Don't lie to me, I said, my voice tight. I saw the emails. You sabotaged me. Ethan, you're misunderstanding. I did it for your own good, she said sweetly, almost patronizing. For my own good. I laughed bitterly. You ruined me. Every chance I had. How is that good? I just didn't want you to fail publicly. I was protecting you, she insisted. Protecting me. My hands were shaking. You've been lying to me this whole time? Smiling, pretending, and stabbing me in the back. That's protection? Ethan, please. Calm down. I only did what I thought was right. You're overreacting, she said, her tone soft but firm. Overreacting. That word cut deeper than any insult she had thrown at me. I hung up. My chest was tight, and I sank into the chair. Betrayal wasn't just painful, it was a razor slicing through every memory of trust I had built. Sophie had chosen her pride over me. Now I felt like I was suffocating in a world I thought I understood. I couldn't even tell my friends. Some were closer to her than me. James Cole might deny everything if confronted. I felt utterly alone. Late at night, I sat by the window, staring out at the city lights, trying to make sense of the collapse of my life. My reflection in the glass stared back pale, tense, eyes hollow from sleepless hours. I can't stay like this, I whispered. I can't stay weak, waiting for someone else to decide my worth. I thought of all the nights I let Sophie's opinion dictate my happiness. All the times I laughed at her jokes while she mocked me secretly. I realized then, love isn't always kind, and people can hurt you intentionally. A memory flashed Mr. Harris, my mentor, telling me once, strength grows in silence, and patience can be your weapon. Silence. Patience. Tools I hadn't yet learned to wield. I clenched my fists. No more, I said. I'll either crumble under this, or I'll build something new. Something they can't touch. The storm of anger and betrayal started to feel like fuel rather than poison. Every insult, every hidden email, every whisper against MIE, all became ammunition for the man I wanted to be. I decided to leave my bedroom and go for a walk. The night air was cold, but it cleared my head. The streets were quiet. I imagined myself shedding the old Ethan, the timid, trusting one, and stepping into someone capable of control, someone unafraid to take what he deserved. I won't be fooled again, I muttered to myself. Not by her. Not by anyone. When I returned, my parents had gone to bed, and Lily was already asleep. I sat at my desk and opened the laptop again, not to brood, but to plan. Sophie thought she had broken me, but she had only lit the fuse. I opened a blank document and typed the words, Step 1, take control. For the first time in weeks, I smiled not at her, not at anyone else, but at the possibility of myself. The breaking point had arrived, and I would never forget it. I didn't answer Sophie's messages. I didn't answer James Cole either. I barely answered anyone. My phone sat face down on the table, buzzing occasionally, but I ignored it. You're really disappearing, Ethan, Rachel said softly one evening. Sitting across from me at the cafe, I just need some space, I muttered, staring at my coffee. Too much noise? She raised an eyebrow. You mean people or you? Both, I admitted. My fingers drummed against the cup. I've been thinking about how I let everyone treat me. About Sophie, she frowned. That girl? Ethan, you can't live in the past forever. You've got to fight back, we'll move on. I don't even know what that looks like anymore, I said quietly. I can't trust anyone right now. Not really, Rachel sighed. I get it. But isolating yourself won't help either. You'll just sink deeper. I'm not sinking, I muttered, more to myself than to her. I'm observing, learning. She tilted her head, unconvinced. Observing or hiding? Maybe both, I said, finally looking at her. I need to understand my weaknesses, my flaws. Everything that let them push me around. That night, alone in my apartment, I stared at the ceiling. Shame, anger, self-loathing, they mixed together like a storm I couldn't stop. I whispered aloud, I can't stay this way. I won't. Then my laptop pinged. A message from an unknown sender. Ethan Jenkins. I can help. I blinked. Who the hell? The chat window opened. I'm Alex. Heard you're struggling. Want guidance? I hesitated. Why? Who are you? Someone who's been where you are. Someone who knows how to take control. If you're ready to change, I can guide you. Guide me how? I typed back, suspicion mixed with curiosity. Step by step. Mindset first, then skills, then strategy. You won't be weak anymore. Something in his words felt solid. No lies, no sugarcoating. I typed, I'm listening. Over the next few days, we exchanged messages. Start simple, Alex wrote. List your strengths. List your weaknesses. Be honest. I'm not sure I have strengths right now, I typed one night. The glow of the laptop harsh against my tired eyes. You do? You just can't see them yet. You're capable. You just need direction. I followed his instructions. I wrote every flaw, every regret, every moment I felt small. Then I wrote every time I'd worked hard, stayed honest, or helped someone. Slowly, the list of strengths grew. Good, Alex responded. Now pick one skill. Learn it. Master it. Something that builds confidence. Then another, so I did. I started with public speaking, recording myself, listening, adjusting, then basic self-defense, learning to stand taller, move with confidence. Finally, I studied finance, investments, networking strategies. Every night, hours of silent focus. Ethan, people will underestimate you, Alex said in one message. Use it. Let them think you're the same. That's your advantage. I smiled at that. The old Ethan, the timid, overlooked one, wasn't gone, but he was quiet now. The new Ethan, sharp, alert, calculating, was emerging. I even tested it. Rachel called. You've been so distant. Are you okay? I'm fine, I said. But I meant more than the words conveyed. I was fine. I was learning. What are you doing all day? She asked. Just focusing, I said, letting the word hang. No one needed to know I was planning, preparing, rebirthing myself. Even Sophie noticed. Her messages became less frequent, polite, but clipped. I ignored them all. She would assume I was broken. She would underestimate me. The isolation wasn't lonely anymore. It was deliberate. Each quiet hour, each refusal to reply, each solitary night at my desk was a brick in the foundation of the man I was becoming. Sometimes I caught myself smiling in the mirror. At a new posture, a firmer jawline, a steadier gaze. Not vanity proof of progress. Ethan, you're changing, Alex typed one night. Good, keep going. The world hasn't seen the real you yet, but it will. I'll be ready, I typed back, confidence curling in my chest. They'll see soon enough. I turned off the laptop, leaving the city hum outside my window. Silence surrounded me, but it was different now. It wasn't empty. It was full of purpose. And for the first time in weeks, I didn't feel small. I felt dangerous in a way I had never been before. The storm inside me was no longer chaos. It was potential, and it was just the beginning, Ethan. You're actually serious about this? Rachel asked, eyes wide as I slid the investment documents across the cafe table. I am, I said, calm, measured. It's a small startup, but the idea has traction. I've run the numbers, projections, everything. This one's solid. She leaned back, skeptical. After everything that happened, you really think this is the time? This is always the time, I said, voice steady. I've been waiting for a chance to take control. This is it. She studied me for a moment, then nodded. All right, I'll back you. You're serious, and I can see it in your eyes. You're different now. I've been working on it, I admitted, a small smile tugging at my lips. I've been preparing, and not just for this. For everything, Rachel grinned. Then let's do this. Weeks passed. The startup grew steadily, quietly. I watched my confidence bloom along with it. Sophie, of course, caught wind of the rumors. At a dinner party, she whispered to her friends, loud enough for me to hear, I don't know why everyone's praising him. It's just luck. It always is. I let it slide. Luck? Huh? I murmured under my breath. She didn't know I'd been planning, strategizing, learning from every mistake. She assumed I was still weak. She assumed wrong. One evening, Lucas stopped by my apartment. Casual, friendly. Ethan, hey. Congrats on the startup buzz. But, I heard a few things. You might want to be careful with your partners. I raised an eyebrow. Careful how? He shrugged. Some of them, well, not everyone's as honest as they seem. Just watch your back, okay? Something in his tone fell off. But I nodded. Thanks, Lucas. I'll keep that in mind. The next day, I found emails from Lucas leaking sensitive details about the startup to a rival company. Betrayal. My chest tightened, but this time I didn't panic. I didn't break, Lucas, I said over the phone, voice calm but sharp. I saw the emails. Care to explain why you're undermining me? Ethan, come on. It's business. Nothing personal, he said, a nervous laugh escaping. Nothing personal? I repeated, teeth clenched. You trusted me, and you betrayed me. Again, and for what? I just thought he faltered. I thought it was the smarter move. Wrong, I said. Flat, final. You'll learn the hard way that smart isn't the same as right. I'll handle this my way. I blocked him and sent the sensitive files to my legal team. Calm, collected. The old Ethan would have panicked, but I was different now. Later that night, Alex messaged me. Patience, timing, don't rush. The storm builds slowly. I typed back. I'm learning, slowly but surely. Every betrayal, every slight, it's fuel now. Sophie's whispers about my so-called luck reached me again through mutual acquaintances. I smiled. Let them talk, I muttered. They'll see soon enough, Rachel called that evening. Ethan, are you okay? You seem more focused, sharper. I am, I said. I've learned to channel everything. Anger, betrayal, doubt, it's all energy now. I'm not hiding it anymore. Good, don't let anyone take that from you, she said, her tone firm, loyal. Not Sophie. Not Lucas. Not anyone. I won't, I said. The words felt heavier than I expected, like a promise to myself at another company event. I noticed Sophie watching me, her smile tight, her voice clipped when she tried to downplay my success. He's lucky, she muttered to a friend. Nothing more. I caught her gaze briefly and held it, calm, unafraid. She realized maybe too late that I wasn't the timid man she had humiliated. Months ago, Rachel leaned in. Ethan, you're radiating something different. People notice. I notice. Good, I said, my chest swelling slightly. They should. I've been invisible for too long. That's over now. The next week, I addressed a small business seminar, speaking confidently about leadership and investments. My voice was firm, deliberate, every word precise. Applause followed. Sophie wasn't there, but the story would reach her. I was setting the stage carefully, subtly. My revenge wasn't loud yet. It was precise. I caught my reflection in a nearby glass, straightened my shoulders and whispered, "You're not broken. You're rising," later Alex messaged. "You're doing well? Keep the path steady. The world hasn't seen the real storm yet." I smiled, letting the words sink in. Every setback, every betrayal, every moment of humiliation had forged something new inside me. I was no longer just reacting. I was planning, building, and transforming. Even Lucas's betrayal didn't shake me anymore. It reminded me that not everyone could be trusted. That was fine. I didn't need them anymore. Sophie's underestimation, Lucas's duplicity, Rachel's support, Alex's guidance, all of it blended into a single focus. I was no longer a victim. I was reclaiming everything, and the world finally would see me as I truly was. I heard Sophie's voice across the office, sharp-clipped, trying to command attention as always. Ethan's rise is temporary. Don't be fooled, she told a group of colleagues, and I smiled quietly from my desk. Let her talk. Let her weave her own web. Rachel leaned toward me. She's desperate, she whispered, eyes sparkling. She thinks she still controls things. She doesn't, I said, voice low. She's blind to what's happening around her. Just then, Mr. Thompson called me into his office. Ethan, Sophie mentioned some concerns about your project's numbers, he said, eyebrow raised. I met his gaze calmly. I anticipated her interference. Everything's double-checked, sir. Nothing's wrong, he leaned back. Good. Keep it that way. I've noticed the reports are impeccable. Keep it up. I left his office with a small smile. Sophie had tried to plant doubt, but I'd turned it into confidence. She'd underestimated how meticulous I'd become. Later in the break room, Sophie cornered me. Ethan, I hope you're not getting too full of yourself, she hissed. I'm not full of myself, I said. Calm. I'm just prepared. You should try it sometime. Her eyes narrowed. Watch it. Don't get cocky. People like you always fall. I chuckled quietly. Funny, I was just thinking the same thing about people like you. Rachel joined me then, a grin on her face. Careful, Ethan. You're tempting fate. I'm tempting her ego, I corrected, letting my words linger. And it's already starting to crack. Over the next few weeks, small things started happening. Sophie's carefully constructed image at work began to wobble. A presentation she had prepared was delayed because of a miscommunication she had orchestrated herself. A client questioned her credibility after I subtly highlighted inconsistencies in her report. I didn't touch a word publicly. I just made sure the evidence reached those who mattered. One afternoon, I caught a glimpse of her expression during a team meeting. She was flustered, unsure. I don't understand, she muttered under her breath, and for the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. Rachel nudged me. She's realizing it's not her world anymore. Exactly, I murmured. Patience, timing, Alex's words echoed in my head. Patience, timing. Let the storm unfold naturally. But it wasn't all smooth. That night, a call from my mother shattered the quiet I'd built. Ethan, your father. He's been in an accident. He's stable, but you need to come now. I'll be there, I said, my voice trembling more than I wanted. The city's streets blurred past as I drove. Sitting by his hospital bed, holding his hand, I realized that even in this rebirth, life could still strike hard. It's not your fault, Ethan, he whispered. You've done nothing wrong. I know, I said, swallowing back emotion. It just reminds me that life doesn't wait. I can't afford to falter. Back home, Lucas's name appeared on my phone again. Another minor betrayal. He'd tried to access privileged files to curry favor with a rival. This time I was ready. Calm, deliberate, I cut him off completely, ensuring no damage reached the start dash up. The next morning, Sophie confronted me again, desperate this time. Ethan, people are talking. I think you might be exaggerating your influence. Let my smile be slow, deliberate. Exaggerating? I think you're the one underestimating it. And yourself. Her face flushed. You can't do this. You'll ruin us both if you keep what? I interrupted. Living in denial? Making excuses for yourself while trying to control everyone else. I didn't mean, she started, but I held up a hand. Stop, I said firmly. I don't need your approval. Or anyone's. I learned that the hard way. Her silence was satisfying. Finally, the woman who had humiliated me, sabotaged me, mocked me, she was realizing her miscalculations. Her arrogance was backfiring, and I didn't even need to act openly. Karma, carefully observed, was unfolding beautifully. Rachel leaned closer after Sophie stormed off. You're different, Ethan. You're not the same man she tore down months ago. I'm not, I admitted. Every setback, every betrayal, it's been fuel. I've been preparing, watching, learning, waiting. Alex's messages came in later that night. Excellent. Observe, control. Strike only when the moment is perfect. Your patience is paying off. I nodded, staring at my reflection in the dark window. The man staring back wasn't timid, wasn't hurt. He was precise, strategic, hardened, but not bitter. I remembered every laugh, every whisper, every insult Sophie had thrown at me. Those memories were no longer weights. They were tools. The following week, Sophie missed a major client meeting because of her own mismanagement, leaving me to step in quietly and save the deal. I didn't gloat. I didn't announce victory, but Rachel's approving nod told me everything. Later alone, I whispered, "This is only the beginning." Every move she makes, every mistake at all, strengthens me. Even the minor tragedies, my father's accident, Lucas's betrayal, hadn't derailed me. They sharpened me. I was no longer reacting blindly. I was building, evolving, and watching the pieces fall into place. Karma, patience, strategy. The lesson was clear. Sophie's downfall was underway, subtle but inevitable. And I would be ready to witness it fully when the time came. I smiled, letting the quiet satisfaction settle deep inside me. The storm had begun. I found Sophie standing by the company lobby, her heels clicking nervously against the polished floor. The confident smirk she used to wear was gone, placed with a flicker of unease. "Sophie," I said, my voice calm, deliberate. "We need to talk." Her eyes widened, and she took a small step back. "Ethan too thought maybe we could save it," I interrupted, holding up a hand. "I'm not here for apologies. I'm here for closure. For truth." She hesitated, then straightened. "Closure. You think I owe you? I think you need to face what you did," I said, voice steady. "And I want you to understand exactly what that cost you." Sophie swallowed. "Ethan, it was complicated. Tu was trying to help you." "Help me?" I laughed, low and bitter. "You called me a spineless simp. You sabotaged my projects. You whispered lies about me, smiled in my face, and destroyed my trust piece by piece. And now you're calling that help?" Her lips trembled, and her gaze dropped. I didn't mean it wasn't like that. It was exactly like that," I said, stepping closer. "And you need to see the evidence." I opened my laptop and projected the emails, the messages, the documents, every trace of her manipulations. Carefully saved, meticulously organized. Sophie's eyes flickered across the screen. Her hands shook. "No, that can't be," she whispered. "Oh, it is," I said. "Every act of sabotage, every lie, every whispered rumor, all of it. Right here." Sophie turned away, covering her face with her hands. I didn't think you'd find out." I didn't mean for stop," I said firmly. "No excuses. No explanations. You made choices. And now you're seeing the consequences. Not from me, but from truth, from clarity, from everyone around you." She sank onto the bench, head in her hands, and I watched, oddly detached. The woman who had mocked me, humiliated me, and tried to destroy me was breaking down before my eyes, and I felt nothing but clarity. "Ethan," she whispered, voice trembling. "Please, I didn't know it would. I didn't realize you realized too late," I said. "That's all there is to it, and I won't let you manipulate me again. Not now, not ever." She looked up, tear-streaked eyes searching mine. "Can't we start over?" I made mistakes, but no," I said softly. "Final. We can't start over. Not with me. I've learned what matters myself, my integrity, my future. You can't be part of that." I could see the panic in her eyes, the humiliation mirrored back to her. The world she thought she controlled had slipped through her fingers, silently and irreversibly. Rachel approached, standing beside me. "Ethan, you've changed. Everyone's noticing," I said. "And not because I wanted revenge, not because I wanted to hurt her. I changed because I had to survive, because I had to become someone I respect, someone I won't let others break." Sophie's lips quivered. You just realized your arrogance has limits, I said, and that sometimes people you think are weak can become stronger than you ever imagined. I watched her slump further, finally silent. Witnessing her collapse was cathartic, but not satisfying in the shallow sense. It was closure. It was proof that I had reclaimed my life, my dignity. A few colleagues approached. Hesitant at first, Mr. Thompson, observing from across the lobby, nodded subtly. Ethan, that was handled impeccably. Professional and assertive. Thank you, sir, I said, bowing my head slightly. The acknowledgement felt good, but it wasn't about recognition. It was about respect earned, quietly, through transformation. Rachel smiled beside me. You handled that with precision, Ethan. Calm, collected, but powerful. I had to, I said. Every betrayal, every humiliation, every mistake of mine, none of it is wasted. It's fuel. It's lesson. And now it's time to move forward. Sophie whimpered softly, barely audible. Ethan, please. You're done, I said, voice calm, resolute. You don't get another chance to dictate my life. Not in words, not in actions. You've had your moment. I turned away, walking toward the elevators. Rachel followed, matching my pace. You're truly different now, she said quietly. I had to be, I replied. I can't let anyone take my life, my choices, or my self-respect, ever again. As we stepped into the elevator, my phone buzzed. Alex's message lit up the screen. Well done. You've reclaimed control. Remember, power is silent until it's undeniable. I smiled. Power is silent, I whispered aloud, feeling the truth of it settle in my chest. The rest of the day passed. I walked past the familiar cafe where I had spent so many nights analyzing my failures, facing my humiliation. The memory of Sophie's laughter from that dinner party hit me like a cold wind, but this time, it didn't sting. It reminded me how far I'd come. Rachel met me at the corner. Ethan, back here again? She asked with a teasing smile. I had to, I admitted, glancing at the table where it all began. Feels right to close the loop. She studied me, her eyes soft. You look different, stronger, calmer, like you finally own yourself. Too, I said. Every misstep, every betrayal, it built me into someone who won't be controlled, manipulated, or underestimated again. She nodded, thoughtful. And Sophie? I shrugged lightly. She's facing her own consequences. I don't need to intervene. Karma works better when it's natural. Rachel leaned closer, whispering, you could have destroyed her. Ethan, you had every reason. I could have, I admitted, watching the sunlight fall across the street. But this is better. Control of myself, not her downfall, is the true victory. A few colleagues walked by, nodding or giving quick smiles. They saw me now differently, respectful, steady, not the timid man they once overlooked. Some even whispered, he's changed. Completely. I let them talk. Recognition was secondary. What mattered was the internal transformation. Later, back at the office, I reviewed our latest project numbers. Everything was progressing steadily. Rachel popped her head in. Ethan, you're glowing today. Seriously? What's different? I'm at peace, I said, leaning back. Not peace in the sense of comfort, but in knowing I've built myself from scratch. I'm no longer defined by others, only by my own choices. She smiled, nodding. I've seen you grow, step by step, and it's inspiring. I had guidance, I admitted. Alex taught me patience, focus, and strategy. But real strength comes from facing your weaknesses, your betrayals, your fears, and refusing to stay broken. A quiet knock came at my door. Lucas. I froze, then relaxed. What is it? He looked nervous, hands fidgeting. Ethan, I saw what you've become. I messed up and I know it. I want to apologize. Studied him for a long moment. I don't need your apology, I said finally. I don't need validation from someone who betrayed me. But I hope you've learned something about honesty, integrity, and consequences. He nodded silently, shame clear on his face, and left. The closure was simple and yet powerful. That evening, I revisited the place of my public humiliation, the same restaurant, the same table. The memory of Sophie's laughter and the whispers of my colleagues filled my mind. But I breathed deeply, grounding myself. Rachel joined me again. "You're smiling," she said gently. "Not forced, real. That's progress." "I am," I admitted. "I've forgiven myself first. Not her, not the past, but me. And that's enough." She nodded. "You've earned it. You've rebuilt your life, your confidence. You're whole again." "I feel whole," I whispered, letting the words settle. "The man I was, the timid, overlooked one, is gone. What remains is someone who knows his value, his boundaries, and his power to shape his future." We shared a quiet laugh, remembering the absurdity of the past. Sophie's image flashed in my mind for a moment. I didn't feel anger. Not anymore. Her downfall wasn't my doing, but her own choices. That realization was freeing. Rachel tilted her head. "And love. You're open to it again," or I smiled softly. "Love comes second now. Self, respect, loyalty, growth, they come first. If someone wants to be part of my life, they'll respect that." She smiled knowingly. Wise man. The night fell, city lights reflecting in the glass walls of the cafe. I raised my coffee cup silently to the empty chair across from me. "To rebirth," I whispered, my voice steady. "To strength, to resilience, to choosing myself," Rachel echoed the sentiment softly. "To you, Ethan, and to the life you've built from ashes." I let the words wash over me, a symbolic acknowledgement of my journey. Every betrayal, every humiliation, every night of silent determination had led to this freedom, respect, and purpose. Walking home, I reflected on my transformation. Sophie would face her consequences, yes, but I no longer carried the weight of her actions. Lucas, Sophie, even the whispers of former colleagues, they were now distant echoes. What mattered was the present and the person I had become. I entered my apartment, greeted by the quiet hum of life I controlled. Rachel's support, Alex's guidance, the lessons I had learned, they were all woven into this new identity. I was no longer reactive, no longer desperate for approval. I was deliberate, confident, and grounded. Standing by the window, looking out over the city, I whispered to myself, I survived. I transformed. I reclaimed my life. Scars remained, faint reminders of what had been endured, but they didn't hurt anymore. They were proof of resilience, growth, and self-worth. I sat down, journal in hand, writing one last note about the journey. Not for anyone else, not for validation, but for me. I am Ethan Jenkins. Strong, reborn, free. Rachel's message pinged. You did it. Proud of you. I smiled, typing back. Thanks. But this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. The city lights shimmered below, and I knew Sophie. The past, the betrayals were all behind me now. Ahead lay life on my terms. A life built from patience, resilience, and unwavering self-respect. And for the first time in years, I felt unstoppable. The morning sun spilled across my apartment, warm and golden, and I felt a quiet contentment I hadn't known for years. I sipped my coffee, watching the city awaken below. Life moved steadily, predictably, yet every day carried the weight of purpose I had fought to reclaim. Rachel's message pinged. Meeting at 9? Can't wait to see your progress. I smiled and typed back. See you there? Ready as always. My phone buzzed again, a notification from Alex. Proud, you're building not just wealth, but influence, respect, and resilience. Remember, growth never stops. I chuckled softly. Growth never stops, I whispered, letting the words sink in. Later, I met Rachel at our favorite cafe, the same place where months ago I had faced humiliation and self-doubt. She waved, her energy infectious. You look unstoppable, she said, sliding into the seat across from me. I feel unstoppable, I replied. Not because nothing can hurt me, but because I've built a foundation I won't let anyone shake. I've learned that control starts with self-respect, not fear of others. She laughed, leaning back. I've seen you handle every challenge with patience and strategy. It's impressive, but also kind of terrifying. I'm terrifying only if you underestimate me, I said with a grin. Everyone else can keep underestimating me. That's their mistake, not mine. We ordered coffee, and the conversation drifted easily projects. Investments, minor successes, but beneath it, I felt the satisfaction of stability. Every decision, every risk taken in the past months, it shaped me into someone others noticed but couldn't manipulate. At the office, I found my team gathered, buzzing about the latest product launch. I smiled at the energy and dedication, seeing loyalty and competence in their faces. "Morning, Ethan," one of the new team members said cheerfully. "We're ready for the pitch." Everyone's excited. "Good," I said, voice calm. "Remember, preparation and clarity win more battles than arrogance ever will." Rachel leaned in, whispering, "You've become more than a boss. You inspire people." I nodded, quietly acknowledging the compliment. Inspiration comes from consistency, support, and example, not from words alone. During a break, my thoughts drifted to Sophie. I hadn't seen her in weeks, and reports suggested her reputation at the company had suffered further. Karma had run its course, subtle, deliberate, unavoidable. I whispered under my breath, "Some lessons only hit when consequences arrive naturally." Rachel nudged me playfully. "Talking to ghosts again?" "Not ghosts," I replied. "Lessons. Every scar, every humiliation, they're reminders of what I overcame and why I don't waste time on grudges." Later, Alex called via video chat. "Ethan, you're doing well," he said, eyes bright behind the screen. "I knew you'd reach this point, but seeing it, it's satisfying. You've built more than resilience. You've built autonomy." "Thanks," I said. "It's more than I imagined possible months ago, but I know growth doesn't stop. Every day is another chance to improve," he nodded. "Exactly. And you'll handle the new challenges with the same patience and strategy you've shown. Remember, influence without control of self is meaningless." I leaned back, reflecting on every step: the humiliation at the dinner party, Sophie's betrayal, Lucas's betrayal, my quiet months of learning, and Rachel's unwavering support. Every moment had led here me, fully present in my own life. During lunch, I ran into a new ally, Clara, joining our team for a collaboration. "Ethan," she said with a warm smile, "I've heard so much about your leadership and your resilience. Excited to work with you?" "Thanks, Clara," I replied. "Collaboration works best when everyone's honest and committed. That's all I ask." As the day progressed, I noticed subtle office whispers, minor jealousy, admiration, and surprise at my composed confidence. The echoes of my past humiliation were distant now, almost instructive, not painful. Back in my apartment that evening, I reviewed plans for a small, personal project, reflecting on the life I was building. Rachel joined via video call, laughing as we discussed details. "You've come so far, Ethan," she said. "And yet there's still a spark of the old youth, the thoughtful, strategic thinker who never gives up." "I've kept the spark," I said, smiling. "It's the foundation of everything now." "Duh."